Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, and the budget they look. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Show, and I am the People's Journalist. Hello everyone, my name is Osasu Show, the host of the Osasu Show and the convener of the Osasu Show Symposium. I would like to specially invite you to the third edition of our symposium themed the 21st Century Woman and Her Role in National Development. Time 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue NAF Conference Center Abuja. Date October 23rd, 2019. Don't miss it.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Osasu Show. Now that is what you hear every time you tune in to watch the Osasu Show. Today we are at the Osasu Show Symposium 2018. My name is Ina Peters.
And I'm Jack Paul Kweku. The theme of this year's symposium is Nigeria Rising. It's time establishing social accountability between the electorate and the leaders. So Ina, what are you expecting today from the show?
Well, you know what, exactly, just like the theme says, I'm expecting an interactive session and, and also an educative one as well. And seeing youth, just being active in the society, I think is a fantastic platform. Definitely.
I'm looking forward to so many interesting questions and a chance for the youth to get to speak to their potential leaders. I think that would be great.
Well, that is for inside though, because on the red carpet, we're going to be having some, exclusive interviews, talking to the people that are going to be coming on the show, and we hope we have fun while we're doing that.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to having an amazing time. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Of what value is this event to Nigerians?
So I think what Osasu Show is doing is taking the conversation off the media space and bringing it to the real space, and it will provide platform, and I hope that whatever comes out of here will enrich further the policy conversations around how to improve our country.
I believe the entire symposium is shaped around the bigger presidential voices and all the other people who are coming to leadership and what their agenda is. So it's actually more like, hey guys, what are you going to do for us?
The Osasu Show Symposium is a forum where key stakeholders in the public, private and development sectors gather to discuss salient issues that affect nation building and sustainable development, particularly as it pertains to the welfare and livelihood of its citizens. Since the maiden edition in 2017, the Osasu Show Symposium has provided a platform for the electorate and leaders to dialogue about national development, national unity, transparency, accountability, economic reform, and several other topical issues. The Osasu Show recognizes the critical need to establish trust between the electorate and the elected. Therefore, as we count down to the third edition of this event themed The 21st Century Woman and Her Role in National Development, we bring you excerpts from the maiden edition in 2017 themed The New Economy and Its Impact on the Less Privileged Citizens.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate and bring to this podium the young person that is adding great value to our great country, Osasu Show.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome each and every single one of you here to the Osasu Show's Mating Symposium. I am truly humbled by the individuals cut across all walks of life that I see here today. Your presence is both a valid endorsement and a testimony of your faith in our working commitment to creating a bridge between our citizens and leaders. We are immensely grateful. Thank you. In 2015, when I began the show, I made a decision to work closely with the internally displaced people to amplify their calls to government officials and well-meaning Nigerians to come to their assistance. Subsequently, in 2016, my crew and I made a decision to march into the heart of the violent situation in Agatu local government area of Benue State during the infamous Headsmen massacre. The chaos and devastation my crew and I witnessed was overwhelming. It was unprecedented, and it left us in so much grief and despair. Our investigative missions have also taken us to southern Kaduna, Goska and Dangoma to be precise, Ogoni Land in Rivers State, Ogbia Federal Constituency in Bayelsa State, Ungogo Local Government in Kano State, amongst other volatile regions both home and abroad. But when we look back at the impact we've made through the show and its foundation, we're encouraged to do even more and take more risk. I can see my dad is not smiling about that. But children have been sent to school. The impoverished lives of women and their families have been changed through direct empowerment. Shelters have been built for the homeless and makeshift classrooms for the IDPs. All this in a span of 2 years. So yes, God has been faithful, and I thank each and every single one of you here for your support. Still, we must and can do more collectively. In the famous words of boxing legend Muhammad Ali, service to others is the rent we pay for our room here on earth. This is why we're here today, to deliberate and devise a means through which we can do more. The theme of today's symposium is the new economy and its impact on less privileged citizens. This gives us an opportunity to discuss some of the prevailing challenges facing Nigerians.
I'll start with one question to my very esteemed panel. Let me pretend to be Fatima Olushola Chibweke. I live in the village. I'm not here, I can't speak English. How do I feel your presence through the work that you do?
For all our efforts in the campaign, we have attracted almost 2 billion naira by direct sales to the average Aba person in terms of production of military shoes and all those kind of things.
If we want to address poverty, one critical element is infrastructure. It serves as stimulus to address poverty. Talking about infrastructure and how infrastructure serves as stimulus to drive development, you need to look at the issue of good transportation network. Economic activities very often takes place in a different location from where the demands for those services are needed.
We have commenced construction of the Lagos-Ibadan, and the contract was 36 months. I told the gentleman he must finish December 2018. We have signed a new contract that 2018 December, they will finish and deliver to us, and we will start commercial activities on that track. The President has also currently approved new railway lines that he has asked us to go and look for loans.
If you listen to the speakers, They talked about borrowing, credit, loan. It is our generation that would pay for that. We hear about approval. We hear about release. But what we don't hear is what are those concrete impacts this approval and release are making on the ground.
When you conduct a census here now, how many people are eligible to vote? I want to believe that everybody here is above 18. When you are eligible to vote, it is a huge power in your hand to determine how you are governed. I do not see any other way you can hold a government responsible or accountable than that power of the ballot.
At this point, there are so many youth without employment. At that time, you were in school, you were receiving an education. Once you come out of school, you go to NYSC. Once you come out of NYSC, you have a job. That is not the situation of most youth today. How don't you expect youth who are hungry on the street to collect money from politicians to go and protest when they have nothing to fall back on?
Nigerians, we always ask questions, but we've not been able to ask the right questions to move actions at the grassroots level. I would leave you with one thing. I'm a young man. Do we have equal rights and opportunity as we sit on this table? No. Thank you.
The activists.
When you speak the truth, you die. When you lie, you die. So it's better to speak the truth and die. I may sound very unpopular this afternoon, but I will speak the truth. Apart from meritocracy, politics is responsible for poverty and hunger in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we the leaders, myself inclusive, have failed this nation and have failed the younger generations. Myself inclusive. When I was a member of the House of Reps, I moved a motion that sons and daughters of all political office holders or all politically exposed persons, from councillor to president, should attend public school. That motion was not seconded. It died. Because if the son of a governor, of a senator, is attending a public school, who will fix the schools? So the issue of poverty is self-created. The only way to fight poverty is for we leaders of this country to build trust among the people. How do you build trust? Today, if there is a policy statement banning the use of generators everywhere, including the villa, when there's no light or electricity in Aso Rock, there should be no electricity in Yanya. When there's no light in Lugbe, there should be no light anywhere. The citizens will develop confidence. And this agitation today for Biafra, for West, for this, is as a result of hunger and unemployment. Take care of hunger and unemployment, there will be no agitation. Thank you.
And now, the second edition in 2018, themed Nigeria Rising, It's Time, establishing social accountability between the electorate and leaders.
The spirit behind our gathering here today is a young lady that I'm very proud of, very independent, ready to learn, an activist. She believes we can get it done in Nigeria. Congratulations again.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you here to the second edition of the Osasu Show Symposium. The men and women that have made it a priority to be here today speaks volume of our collective desire to build a progressive nation where peace, justice, and equity prevails. Last year, we successfully organized the maiden edition of this symposium themed The New Economy and Its Impact on Less Privileged Citizens. There was a general consensus that leadership must translates to taking responsibility and building a legacy of stewardship and accountability. Many of those who participated in last year's symposium have since conversed for the passage of critical legislation that will ensure youth participation in governance. You see, the vision our leaders must have, and I believe it's the vision that animates the hearts of every patriotic Nigerian, such as myself, is a deep commitment to equality irrespective of ethnic, tribal, religious, or political affiliation. This is why we're here today at the second edition of the Osasu Show Symposium, themed Nigeria Rising, It's Time. Establishing social accountability between the electorate and leaders. The theme, Nigeria Rising, speaks to considerable social and economic gains heralded by growth in gross domestic products, reduction in poverty, and respect for citizens' rights. Nigeria Rising is our goal as we aim for structural changes, macroeconomic improvements, and a growing middle-class population in Nigeria. As a people, we must develop a conviction and passion in the resolution that a great Nigeria is non-negotiable. We must fight to earn our right of place amongst other committee of nations. We can no longer afford to settle for less. In the 21st century, Nigeria demands leaders that are knowledgeable, leaders that have the ability and vision to think of the future, thinking in terms of what needs to be done now to cope successfully with what the future will bring.
I'd like to start by adding, however, that for all our political parties that have representation, we will pretend that you're the candidates, and whatever you say today, we will use as the party line. Because I think that it's important for us to have a level playing field. Do we agree? Excellent. And I'll start with Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, and the question is for all the candidates. Why do you want to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and what uniquely makes you strong for this job?
I really want to lead a process of rescuing our country from the precipice in which it finds itself. You earlier or someone else had indicated that we becoming the capital, the world capital for extreme poverty is a slur on all of us. That India, which is 7 times our population, has now come behind us in terms of that is terrible. I also believe that I am positioned to solving this problem because I do know critically what it takes for societies to grow, for societies to achieve inclusive growth. I know exactly in terms of my competence, my character, and my capacity that I am well positioned to find solutions to the problems that ail us.
We must be embarrassed that Rwanda is doing financial inclusion more than Nigeria. We must be embarrassed that Ghanaians are taking pawns on us just because we choose to always insist we're going to take the easy way out. We have to smell the coffee. We need to grow our economy. We need to get ourselves united. Who's going to pity us when we start slaughtering our own necks? Everybody's sending us rice from their own country just because we have the largest number of IDP, internally displaced people in a country that is not at war. And some government official is telling us stories about the crime around even stealing the rice or not being able to account for the rice. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues with crisis in the country. Ask them, where's the money for NEMA? And I'm not even here for all of that. Look, we will truly grow the Nigerian economy because we know how. Our track record speaks for us. Human memory is very short, and therefore it's easy for Nigerians to forget that you didn't have such a big economy in 1999 when Atiku Abubakar and Obasanjo took over. You were a debtor nation. It was paid by creative ingenious of leaders who want to serve you again.
We believe that this time is the time for the citizens. Is that correct? So we want to ensure there's ample time for citizens to ask questions.
What we want in this country, let them do road. They have started. I can see Amechi there, a minister. Let them do road. You people do road, do water. Give us water. Give us light. Give us education. Give us hospital. Then we use our hand to do the remaining one.
Let me Let me thank the SDP woman. We must thank her. She said power has improved. Under them, $16 billion. We had 3,000 megawatts of power. Now we have 7,000.
As I speak to you, in a single day, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, returned and declined 15 bills in one day. It's never happened anywhere in the world. These are bills that have to do with employment. These are bills that have to do with the economy. These are bills that have to do with national security. 15 bills returned and declined by the president in one day. And I can bet my liver that the president did not go through those bills.
You know he didn't pass the budget. They didn't pass the budget. Listen, it's good you listen so that I can hear the argument and stop being euphoric. Do you know they passed the budget in September? 4 months to the end of the year. 4 months to the end of the year. And listen, they want a debate. They want a debate. You know, it's easy to talk. It's easy. Just listen. Now, the Federal Republic of Nigeria expects the budget from the National Assembly. Early enough, the National Assembly sits down and writes projects to their villages. I want to do a road to Kogi. Somebody takes that. So my village is to Kogi. So divert the road this way. So you're going to Kogi. A man takes me to Nasarawa or Niger just to get to Kogi and puts this in the budget because I don't have power to do budget. The federal government gives me 200 and something billion naira for railway. Somebody takes away 67 billion and shares to his villages. He's here.
Dr. Ekpeazu, I am interested in the numbers and your track record in terms of education and health for Abia State. At Sokoro General Hospital, we've gradually turned it into a detention facility for women who cannot pay for their bills after they birth their children. What is the situation in Abia State?
There is a World Bank statistic that says that if parents spend more than 30% of their monthly income on fees for their children, that it will be difficult for those parents to walk out of poverty. Therefore, for us, by way of strategy, we intend to strengthen public schools, and that is what we have been doing. And as I speak today, and I stand to be corrected, Abia is perhaps the only state in our zone that is feeding from primary 1 to 6, not primary 1 to 3.
Thank you, sir. Most time we always focus on federal government budget. But every local government have budget, every state have budget. Do you know what is in this budget for you? And most times they don't know. I've traveled across Nigeria and it's shocking to tell you that we are the ones that actually break the news to people that you have a 9 million naira for your primary health care center as captured in your local government budget. The ruling elite keep hiding those information because that information is the real power that keeps them below that poverty line.
This is the second symposium. I pray that we'll live to see the third, because at that point, we'll be doing beyond what we are doing now. We'll be asking for accountability and transparency. Tell us what you've done, and that way you'll be in the books, in the record books of this country.
Registration link is now live for the third edition of the Osasu Show Symposium, themed the 21st Century Woman and Her Role in National Development. Visit www.tostvnetwork.com to sign up now.
Hello everyone, my name is Osasu Show, the host of the Osasu Show and the convener of the Osasu Show Symposium. I would like to specially invite you to the third edition of our symposium themed the 21st Century Woman and Her Role in National Development. Time 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue NAF Conference Center, Abuja. Date October 23rd, 2019. Don't miss it.